Just a ranked like heavyweight coming in to defend your spot on the list on fight week, man. I mean, is that like a little bit different vibe, like being up there with all those top names?
Yeah, man, I love it, and you're exactly right. That's how I approach the fight, is defending my turf, defending my spot in line. And my last fight against Eun Jung, that's what I kept telling myself. I had just gotten to the top 15, and here I was fighting a guy on a 15-fight unbeaten streak, undefeated in the UFC, and I had to defend my spot, and that's what I did, man, and we're doing it again.
I mean, I'm sure anybody that's in the rankings is happy to see themselves there, but it just feels like such a journey, right, for you to get here, just a long path. I mean, is it rewarding to just finally, feel like you're getting the recognition for the efforts you put in?
Yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. And then to see the number 13 now, Thiago Santos out, so everybody moved up one, and it just gives me hope and inspiration to get into the top 10. And, it's been a long time coming. I've been talking to a good buddy of mine the other day. We've been friends for decades, and he's like, number 13. I was like, yeah, it's crazy, huh? He's like, it is, but not really. He's like, you've been put in this work, man. So it's super exciting.
Pretty cool. Back at the Apex, I mean, you've been kind of taking a tour of the stadiums. I guess, does that make it any more challenging or any different? I mean, the vibe, the energy, is there any changes that have to be made, or is that anything you can prepare for?
Not really. I mean, you can only control what you can control. Of course, I love fighting in front of crowds. I've been spoiled. My last 3 fights have been in front of crowds. So it is what it is, man. I'm pretty comfortable here at the Apex, all dating back to the Contender Series. That was super weird. And then it's just evolved, little by little. There's been more and more people in here, and there'll be a little bit of a crowd on Saturday, and you can't change it. You just got to go with the flow, and I'm looking forward to it.
When you step in there now, I mean, is it a different feeling? Like you said, all the effort that you put in, but now it's this nice win streak. Is there a different energy, I guess, you feel when you step in there, a different confidence level?
Oh yeah, confidence is through the roof. I feel like the man. I feel like I own this shit, and I feel like this is my show. I can't wait to go in there and put on a show for the fans, and extremely confident, man. I'm excited. I work hard for this, and I can't wait to go out there and showcase my skills on Saturday.
I guess everybody in the UFC is a dangerous opponent, but Khalil, he's had some pretty spectacular moments. I guess, what do you think about him as an opponent? What do you think when you got this matchup?
Well, I was licking my chops, man. If I have to throw him under the bus a little bit. He turned me down in March when I fought UFC 272. He said no, and it's a little feather in my cap. And they came back, and we were asking for a higher ranked opponent, and they were all booked up, and they were like, well, what about Roundtree? I was like, well, yeah, of course, if he wants to, and he said yes this time. So I was super excited, super confident, man, and it's funny because I got guys at the gym and people that talk about Khalil Roundtree. They're like, man, that guy's a killer. I can't wait to go out. It's the prove it business, and I can't wait to go out and prove that he's not a killer, man. I mean, he can be, but I think I got respect. I'm not talking smack at all, but I think he's too up and down. He can look like a killer, and physically he's a killer, but mentally is where it matters most. And I think mentally that's where he's the weakest. And again, I get a chance to prove that on Saturday.
So when his name was brought up to you, given what happened before, was there any part of you that was like, tell him I said no. I'm not interested now.
Hell no, I was licking my chops. I'm like, fine, if you want me to give me that for my, this is the 3rd of my 4th fight on the contract. So I go out there and have a good performance. I'm going to re-up, and I'm like, hell, if they're going to give me that fight for this, I can't wait. So I've been pumped, man. 10 weeks now I've been preparing for this, and I can't wait to go out there and get the job done on Saturday.
Given your styles, I'm guessing probably doesn't go 15 minutes. Is that kind of what you're thinking as well?
Yeah, I don't think so. Especially, again, Khalil's so up and down. If he's the down Roundtree, it's not going to go long at all. If he's the up Roundtree, it's going to be a great fight, and I still think it's going to be a good fight, but I keep saying it. It's the prove it business. I'm going to get an opportunity to go out there and prove that I'm the better fighter.
I like it. Last thing for me, get the big statement win here, get the new contract. Do you start asking for some top 10, do you start calling names? Because I know you're not a big, trash talking type guy or whatever, but do you start, making specific challenges?
Yeah, so I have a couple names in mind, and guys are getting booked too. I really wanted to fight Volkan Ozdemir this last camp, or for this fight. And they actually, the UFC loved it. Had talking about me fighting last week on the Abu Dhabi card. This was, right after my last win. I'm like, great, but I was 14 at the time, and he had just beat Paul Craig, so he was number 8, and he respectfully declined, which I get it. When you're number 8, you're not looking at 14, you're looking at, things that push you closer to the title, fights that push you closer. And so that didn't happen, didn't materialize. But, he just lost to Krylov. So maybe I throw Krylov out there after the big win. I think that'd be a fun fight, but definitely somebody in the top 10. And you're right, I need to come with a name. Otherwise, they're just going to give me whoever. So I need to get out there and call somebody out.
Just one silly one. When the number does change next to your name, who's the first to call you usually, or who do you call first to brag and praise when your ranking goes up? Who gets the call?
I've got a special group of friends that we've been friends for decades and going back to junior high, and it's always those guys that get a hold of me or, they send me something. And of course, my wife and I were always talking about it, but I just go with the flow, man. I'm very blessed. I have a lot of good friends and people close to me that look out for me and care for me. So I hear from all of them all the time, and it's a good support system.
I was going to say, they're probably the same that keep you grounded and keep the head small, right?
Oh, for sure. Those are the guys that are still talking shit to me. They still think they can kick my ass. So
Awesome. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, man. Good? Thank you, guys. See you Saturday night.